Shohei Ohtani gets the start for the Dodgers. Dustin May says that he was pushed out by the Dodgers. May reacts to getting traded. Some interesting comments from him. Also, the real reason why Mookie Betts has struggled for the last year. Dave Roberts spoke to the media before today's game. We'll break that down. Some nuggets, some updates from Dave Roberts. Also, one of the return players that the Dodgers got in the Hunter Fiducia deal made his debut. An exciting debut for the Dodgers. So much to get into on a jam-packed pregame version of the Dodgers Dugout Live program.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, ready to parade. We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the ¡1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you're a longtime viewer and supporter of the show and you want to support every single episode every day, the best thing you can do is either go to www.gearup.la to get some merch, or you can hit the like button, drop a comment down below. All those things definitely support the channel. But welcome to another episode. This is going to be going right before the game. You got Shohei Ohtani on the bump. A day game, a gentleman's game at Dodger Stadium. And they have an opportunity to win a series today. After dropping game one of the Cardinals last night, the Dodgers explode for 12 runs. First time the Dodgers had double-digit runs in a game since June against the Nationals. They had gone 11 straight games where they hadn't scored more than 5 runs. But you got Matthew Liberatore going up against Shohei Ohtani. 110 first pitch, so a quick jam-packed show to get you ready. But welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live. Drop those comments down below. I'm going to get to you guys in a little bit, but there's so much Dodger baseball to get into. And we've got to get into it right away. So let's get right into it. All right, so we're going to start today with Dave Roberts' pregame scrum. We're going to react to that. Then we're going to talk some Dustin May. The Dustin May thing is interesting. Also, the real reason why Mookie Betts has probably struggled for the next year. But here was Dave Roberts talking to reporters just moments ago.
Today, he feels good. I haven't heard anything as far as any kind of carryover from Cincinnati. Obviously, he's played every day as far as hitting, running well. I think it's going to be a full 4 innings, and we'll go from there.
What have you seen as far as the evolution of him from the first starting day to where he's stretched out to now?
You know, I think the last one is a hard one to gauge, given the cramps that he was going through. But I think overall, the command is better. I think he feels good using his entire pitch mix. I like seeing him stretched out, obviously. And we're seeing more edge. I think with Shohei, that's the one thing that really stands out is that when he pitches, he transforms into a different type of person, player, as far as kind of the mindset.
Obviously, you weren't around when those were Angels. He's not throwing the splitter as much. Is that, you think that's sort of tied to the past elbow stuff with him?
You know, I don't know that answer. I know there's some more two-seamers in there, which sort of is trying to have something with depth. I know there's a sweeper in there, but yeah, I don't know that answer. But it might be tied into the pass.
Dave, you talk about him transforming. I mean, the splits, when you look at his hitting stats since he started pitching again, it's pretty dramatic. Is there something to that? Is it in a small sample size? What do you think?
You know, I do think that there's something to it. I think that obviously when he's pitching, there's an added emphasis, understandably so, on pitching. I don't think there's a better option as far as not playing him or having somebody else in there. I think that there's a calibration that needs to happen, that's going to happen. But I do understand that as he's built up, you know, certainly on days that he's pitching or, you know, days after, it's been a little bit different. I'm aware of that.
What changes? He has to do bullpens. He has to go to pitchers meetings now. It's just not all thinking about hitting.
That's right. And a lot of the ways that I look at things is what's a different alternative. So you try to make it better. You try to kind of get acclimated to it, but every time I write that lineup and I put him at the top of the order, it's still a pretty good option.
Yeah, I mentioned a recalibration. Like, does he kind of have to get used to being a two-way guy again, and with everything that sort of comes with that, the workload, and everything like that?
Absolutely, and you know, as we talked about, the meetings, the prep, the bullpens, the going 3 innings, 4 innings, you know, the post-game treatment with the arm, all that stuff matters. So yes, you're just kind of getting reacclimated to doing it.
How accustomed would you say he is right now to, like, you know, where he's been in the past, or this is just the norm to where he's now kind of trying to make his way back?
I don't think it's not the norm. It's my guess. It's been over 2 years since he's done this. So he's still sort of getting adjusted to this lifestyle as far as kind of the day-to-day. I don't think he's there yet. I think it's only going to get better as he gets more time doing it.
What's the likelihood of him building up beyond, say, 5 innings before the end of the year? Do you need him to?
We don't need him to. I think that it's possible. I'm not saying it's unlikely. I think it's, you know, the 5-inning threshold is something that we feel, you know, can get you through a game and use relievers. So you're still weighing the fact of the cost of getting them more beyond that, right? So I think that the 5-inning threshold we're very comfortable with. Now, you know, going forward, we'll see if that changes. But I think, you know, for sure for the next, you know, few turns, I don't see him getting beyond 5. I mean, I feel very confident in that.
What do you think the cost is of him extending an extra inning or 2?
Well, I mean, I think it's workload. It's tax to the body. There could be kind of, you know, 5 innings is more than 4. There's more stress. So I don't know. I think this is just his first year, and it's probably a better question for the training staff. But for me, my eyes, you know, first year coming pitching again. All what we're doing right now is essentially it's, you know, house money. It's you know, additive being the 2-way player. So then, you know, we got to be mindful of Shohei, you know, now and also going forward.
So does it go back to what you said when this all started? If he gets fatigued, there's a greater risk of injury, and that's not something you can afford.
Yeah, and that's right. And that's any trainer, doctor will say that fatigue, you know, increases chance of injury. So if you can kind of manage that, I think that's a very smart way to go, and that's kind of where we are all aligned as an organization. Just managing his workload and you know, getting him through October healthy and strong, and he understands that, and he's been great.
Is there too much emphasis if you look at the record without him? You're 11-17 without him in the starting lineup.
I think there's too much. I mean, he's a heck of an offensive player. So I guess the record says what it is. What did that Dennis Green said, or Herm Edwards?
You are who you are.
You are who you are. The record says. No, but I mean, he's a heck of a player. So when he's in there, I feel good he's in there.
Dave, MLB has promoted its first female umpire to work Friday's Marlins Braves game. Just kind of wondering your thoughts as someone who's done a little trailblazing yourself.
That's great. I didn't know that. Congratulations to her. That's, I mean, baseball's done a great job of being completely inclusive, and so, yeah, that's Kim Ang over there, you know, before and now in the Marlins again. So good for her. That's great. I'll be watching, and it's good for the game. It's fantastic.
Also Friday, looks like Scherzer and Kershaw going head-to-head. Pretty rare matchup of 3,000 K club guys. As a fan, how do you watch that?
It's going to be good. That's right. You probably don't see that very often. You're not going to see it very often these days. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for Max. Obviously, Clayton. That's going to be a good one. I didn't realize that. So it'll be good to see him, and hopefully we can have our way with him.
There you go, Dave Roberts. Talking to reporters before the game from the Dodgers dugout. Really the biggest standouts in that presser was, first, yeah, Shohei Ohtani has been throwing a lot less splitter than he did when he was with the Angels, but throwing more two-seamer with the sweeper's been an effective pitch for him. But what I've been told is really that's just trying to keep the arm healthy and take stress off that arm. So it's really a long-term play, and really that's kind of been the approach for Shohei Ohtani since coming back to pitching, is that when he throws, his body is naturally just going to get more fatigue. And when you get tired, you're more susceptible for injuries. And the most important thing for Shohei is what he can do for this team at the plate as a hitter. So you can't lose sight of that. Dave also did say that they don't need to build him up to 5 innings with the postseason really becoming increasing a bullpen game and the depth that they do have. If you could get just 5 really good innings from Shohei Ohtani in game 4 or 5 of a postseason series, that definitely would provide a lot of value. But I think for me, you just have to allow him to communicate with you, because this is a one-of-one. This is a uncharted waters type of situation where if he wants to pitch, he's going to pitch. If he wants to pitch longer and he communicates that, he's probably going to want to pitch longer. But still, I think he'll take 5 innings from Shohei Ohtani. And today, I think you're hoping that you just get a really clean, efficient 4 innings. The velocity's strong. You're not getting tons of hard hit balls. You're seeing really good command. I mean, let's be honest. This is the first start that he's made since leaving the game with the cramps. Will he be cramping again? We'll look out for that. But today's going to be a big one, because now he's kind of been back for a decent amount of time. He has really shown that when he's right and the stuff is there, he's really, really good, and that he does have ace-level stuff. But we'll see how it looks today against his Cardinals team, trying to win a series. But before you blink, I mean, this is his 8th start since being back. And so far, a 2.40 ERA. He's given up 4 runs in 15 innings of work, 17 strikeouts to 5 walks. And the cool thing, of course, always is that he's back in the lineup. But now he's back in the lineup, still batting in the leadoff spot. So there was a lot of talk about moving him off that leadoff spot in games where he pitched, because the numbers when he's hitting and pitching and having to not even have enough time to go in the dugout to put on his gear to take a bat, you got Alex and everyone bring him out his stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see how that plays today. I think we also saw him get a home run after he gave a home run to Byron Buxton in the Dodgers game against the Twins a few weeks ago. So he has had some results batting and pitching in the same inning, but we'll see how it looks as him as a leadoff hitter once again. But let's take a look at that Dodgers lineup, and it is a lineup that does feature Shohei Ohtani batting at the top of the order. Shohei Ohtani leads off. He's your DH and your starting pitcher. It will never feel normal. Unicorn stuff today on a day where they're giving out a Shohei Ohtani replica 2024 World Series championship ring. Then Mookie Betts starting at shortstop, batting second. Let's see if Mookie can build on yesterday's 3-hit performance. He also drew a walk yesterday, lots of hard contact. The fact that he was pulling the ball and hitting it hard while pulling it, that tells you a lot about how his swing is and how it's progressing, because we've seen a lot of weak contact, see him fly out to the opposite side. So the fact that he's getting on top of baseballs the way he did yesterday, I'm very curious to see how he follows that up, because last night he was definitely happier than he's been of late. And last night, clearly, he had really made it very, very understandable that, hey, like, this is a real deal long-term slump. So let's see if, hey, maybe he's turned a corner. We'll see how he fares today, because if he puts together 2 really good games, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4, and then Mookie Betts starts doing Mookie Betts things. We saw that yesterday. Will we see that continue today? Building off of yesterday's performance, I think, is really the top thing outside of watching Shohei Ohtani throw the pill to look out for. Then batting third, back in the lineup behind the dish, Will Smith at the catcher spot, batting third, followed by Freddie Freeman hitting cleanup at first, Teoscar Hernandez hitting fifth in right. Another thing to look for, Teo, 2 home runs yesterday. They need his bat to pick up. They need 2024 Teoscar Hernandez driving in runs, hitting in the clutch, being a run producer, hitting lefties, and today you got a left-handed pitcher on the mound for the Cardinals. And after that, batting sixth, Andy Pages in center, Miguel Rojas bats seventh at second base, and then you got Alex Call. Alex gets the call today. I think it was a good call by Dave Roberts. Alex Call in left field, batting eighth, followed by Alex Freeland batting ninth at the hot corner, and then Shohei Ohtani on the bump. You look at this Dodgers lineup in their experiences against today's starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, Matthew Liberatore. Their career against Matthew Liberatore, not tons of ABs against the Cardinals starter today, but Shohei Ohtani in his career 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Mookie Betts 1 for 3. Will Smith 2 for 2 with an RBI. Freddie Freeman 2 for 3 with an RBI. And Teoscar Hernandez 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And Miguel Rojas 0 for 1. No home runs in their careers against today's pitcher. So today's just a perfect opportunity to show that, hey, this Dodgers offense is back. This Dodgers offense is passing the baton. They're swinging at pitches early in counts if they're in the zone. They're taking pitches when they're well off the plate. They're getting the pitch count way up. I want to see the Dodgers offense that's been one of the best in the game for a long, long time, and that had been the best in the game when Max Muncy was in the lineup before having suffered that injury in the same game where Clayton Kershaw got his 3,000th strikeout on July 2nd. So let's see if we see that offense. Okay, some more storylines to get into. I want to talk about Dustin May for a second, because Dustin May making his first start with the Red Sox today in Boston, and he spoke to reporters, and he was asked about the trade and the situation with the Dodgers, the communication that was there, and Dustin May said that he was pushed out by the Dodgers rotation.
Yeah, I was kind of pushed out. We had quite a few guys there in that organization, but yeah, couldn't be more excited and thrilled to be here and be a part of it. Communication was great. It was kind of just like if things kind of fit perfect on both ends, then we can make it work. I don't think they were trying to push anything, but like it worked on both sides. So like I said, I'm excited to be here.
Had you heard?
No, I hadn't heard anything about Boston until about 3 minutes before the deal went down. So yeah, I had my agent text me and said, hey, like it looks like some reports are going here. I was like, all right, cool. And then 3 minutes later had a phone call.
So interesting stuff, because I mean, I've been saying this entire season that Dustin May was going to be this year's version of James Paxton, that the Dodgers ultimately would probably move him just because if the entire rotation was healthy, that he was going to get phased out. And then the next best option was him in the bullpen, but he really this year hasn't proven to be a bullpen type of pitcher because of the fact that you don't see high strikeout numbers, because he gives up a good amount of home runs. And I don't think that was a shot at the Dodgers per se, saying that he was pushed out. But I don't think the Dodgers were sitting there saying, oh, no, Dustin, we don't want to trade you. We want to make you part of this rotation. If they did that, then he would be the sixth man in the rotation over Emmet Sheehan. Clearly, the Dodgers like Emmet Sheehan more than they like the possibility of Dustin May. And then the guys in front of that, Dustin May wouldn't have pitched over either. You're not going to take Dustin May over Yamamoto, Glasnow, Snell, Otani, or Kershaw. So that means there's no spot for you in the rotation. And then you look at the bullpen outside of that. If everyone's healthy, Tanner Scott, Blake Trinan, Michael Kopech, Alex Vesia, Kirby Yates, Brock Stewart, Ben Kasparius, Jack Dreyer, and you got the guys on the fringes, Edgardo Henriquez, Alexis Diaz, Anthony Bondo, Bobby Miller has pitched well since he's transitioned to his new role as a reliever. So really, it was kind of one of those things where, yeah, I mean, Dustin May, we thank you for your services. You ate a lot of innings, and you have to feel good about that for a guy that has struggled with injuries throughout his career. He had tossed 104 innings this year. That was almost double his previous career high. It's actually the most that he's thrown professionally in a season since he combined for 144 and 2/3 innings from the minors and majors back in 2019, also at the postseason. So good for Dustin May, but the truth is 4.09 ERA first third of the season, 5.57 ERA second third. He wasn't good enough to be on this team in this rotation based on the guys they had, but he still helped this team. If they go on to win a World Series, he will get a World Series ring. I wish him well again for the Red Sox. They're a winning team. They're ahead of the Yankees now, but I don't think that the Dodgers are going to regret trading Dustin May. I think that this year you have just more options of guys that you can turn to in the event of injuries, and I think that Dustin May, you could tell he wants a chance to make 5, 6, 7 starts and enter free agency with a chance to get, I'm predicting, a $10 million contract to either reestablish his market. We'll see how it goes. If he pitches better, maybe more than that. But let me know down below in the comments section, what are your thoughts on Dustin May's comments? Jeremy Buckley, 4153, throw Ohtani. I like that. We're going to call him that on his pitching days. Throw Ohtani. Ellis Shiva Jones, 6730. D-Mac is the best. No, you are the best, Ellis Shiva Jones. And everyone out there in Dodgers Nation getting ready to watch an afternoon game. Love that. Dodgers guy ride, day listener from across the pond. Love the show, guys. Appreciate that, Dodgers guy. Yeah, are you a part of that Everyday Listeners Club, our Everyday Viewers Club? That's the most rewarding. You're going through this journey. What did Kobe say? You got the Kobe bobblehead on Fridays, wearing the Lakers jersey, the Kobe shoes. The journey, the dream is the journey. So go through this journey of Dodger baseball, the ups and downs. Hey, D-Mac, when you go into the Dodger game, today I'll be in studio. Was there last night, got home really, really late, did a post-game show from the stadium, which we're going to be doing in the broadcast booth at Dodger Stadium for every game we go. So that's going to be exciting. Coach Mitch, who is D-May better than? Exactly. Music is fuego. We got, he needs to blow the bubble. Mookie was too hot one game. Great time to bench him. Mookie's not getting benched. It was Max Muncy that did not get the start today. And I think that's okay. Talking to Max Muncy after the game, the knee feels good, but he's slowly getting back to where it was before the injury. And where it impacts him is getting off the ball after hits. And he told me that after the game, that it's about getting to the baseball as quickly as possible. And I think that taking a day off after 2 games at the big league level, going through that rehab process, going through his rehab assignment with OKC, it's a day game. You have an off day tomorrow. I'm fine with a day off for Max Muncy. But as I pointed out, the Dodgers this season with Max Muncy in the lineup, they've averaged 5.62 runs per game. That's the best in baseball. With him out of the lineup, with him not being active, I should say, they're averaging 3.54 runs per game, which is the worst in baseball. So the Max Muncy effect is real. He is the straw that stirs the drink for the Los Angeles Dodgers, but he will not be in the lineup. We'll see. Pinch hit situation late in the game. Who knows? But here we go. We got some more comments down below. 2C Miller's doing good in the bullpen now. By the way, the Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show, and I want your answer to this. Plant the flag right now. where do you stand on this? Was yesterday the turnaround for Mookie Betts? 87% say yes, 13% say no. So, want to transition there for the real reason why Mookie Betts has really struggled. So, he talked to reporters after the game yesterday. The thing that really kind of made me feel really good, by the way, was his comments on Freddie Freeman. And there was a shot of Freddie and Mookie in the dugout talking, hitting, presumably. And Mookie talked about that interaction and what Freddie Freeman has meant to him as a teammate.
I mean, it's just good to get obviously Freddie. We all know who Freddie is and what he's done, and it's just good to talk with someone that's in the grinder with you. You know, that's in the day to day with you, and you know, he's just there and he's supporting me, and I just run things by him, and yeah, he's always there for me. You know, he's always been there, and I love him for that.
Love to hear that. Freddie Freeman is basically a de facto hitting coach. And look, it's one thing to get information from Robert Van Scoyoc, Aaron Bates, the hitting coaches, but to hear it from your teammate, another future Hall of Famer, someone that is facing these pitchers, someone that is batting behind you in the lineup, that has a first-hand glimpse, a courtside seat, if you will, to how it looks with you at the plate, it's absolutely valuable. And I think just to have a guy that you can just be real with, like clearly Mookie is with Freddie Freeman, I think that's tremendous as well. Just to have someone like, hey, man, you've gone through slumps, I've gone through slumps, and you can just be a little more honest about just your feelings. And Mookie is definitely a big feelings type of dude where, hey, he's not afraid to be honest about when things are affecting him. And some quotes I wanted to share with you guys from Mookie before the game yesterday, talking about his slump. One thing that really stands out to me, he was talking about the hand injury that he suffered last year. He was hit by a 98-mile-per-hour fastball in the hand last season, and the numbers when he went down to after, they're not good. He got hit in that hand mid-June. If you go back, kind of look at that injury, I mean, it was definitely a type of hit where, look, I mean, guys get hit in the hands, and sometimes they have the protective gear on that hand. But unfortunately, in this case, Mookie, he gets hit in that hand, and it is a fracture that clearly has impacted him for just the healing process of it. It was Dan Altavila's heater up and in, and it was on the back of the left hand. And just rewatching this morning, he's kind of clutching his hand, he's going down, and Mookie knew that he was hurt. Mookie knew that he was hurt. He was grimacing in pain, but he said after that it's still, he thinks, is kind of impacting him to this day at the plate. Mookie said that he really just has not been the same hitter. He said, I really haven't been the same since I came back from my hand last year. And the truth is that the numbers, they prove that, because before that he was hitting at an all-star level, at a Mookie Betts level, 30, 40, 50, 60% above league average, depending on how early in the year you were looking at. But since coming back, 263 batting average, and then he had a 185 batting average in his last 17 games of the regular season that year. And then this year, he struggled throughout. And since May 1st of last year, he's actually been a below average bat. So a lot of people are kind of diving into the story about Mookie Betts struggling. The truth of the matter is he struggled for a long time. I mean, he really has been a average to below average bat for more than 800 plate appearances at this point. And Mookie would also say about this, by the way, it's kind of funny. Remember when I was saying it a couple weeks ago that it's almost felt like Mookie Betts has had his baseball powers space jammed from him? And of course, that is in reference to the 90s classic Space Jam featuring Michael Jordan. And in that movie, the Monstars come down and they steal the powers from Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing and Sean Bradley and Muggsy Bogues, and they also get Michael Jordan's powers. So he wasn't a good basketball player. He had to go play a game with the Looney Tunes. It was just a great movie. Well, Mookie Betts said about his season, it's unexplainable. I don't know. It sucks. You know, in Space Jam, they take your superpowers away. Kind of, that's what it feels like. I'd never been there, never done that. So to have that happen, I don't know how to get out of it. I hit for 3 or 4 hours a day. At some point, your body breaks down, but I'd rather break down than not give the effort. So you love the fact that this guy is doing every single thing in his power from a batting practice standpoint, from a cage standpoint to get it right. But is it the hand? Because the hand is a very important part of Mookie's swing, getting that top hand down on the baseball and hitting it for hard contact. So hopefully today the hand continues to look better, heals more. He did take some strength tests with that hand during spring training, and they did measure his grip, and apparently the grip was higher than it was even before the injury. But for everyone out there that keeps saying this thing about the weight loss, Mookie says again, it's not the weight loss, and that he weighs more now than he did. So could it be the hand? I think for a guy that's on the margins, does the feel for that, it's got to be something. And then you combine that with lots of bat speed and lots of confidence too. I think that's a recipe for a down season. But all right, want to get into some quick Roki Sasaki really quick. Then I'm going to open up for some quick comments from you guys before the game. Shohei Ohtani on the bump in the Dodgers bullpen as we speak. He threw a season-high 3 innings and 53 pitches in his last start. He did leave the game with cramps. So let's hope we get Shohei Ohtani into the 4th inning in this one. Drop your prediction down below. How many innings will Shohei pitch today? How many strikeouts will he have? One of my favorite bets we could do is how many mound visits do you get during this game? I'm going to say, not just for Shohei, for the Dodgers, I'm going to do 2 mound visits. 2 mound visits in this one. But an update on Roki Sasaki. So Roki, he spoke to reporters yesterday, and he is really progressing towards making a comeback. And there was some doubt about would he come back this season. And it turns out that he's gotten healthier, that he's feeling no pain. And he talked about the progress that he's made dealing with that shoulder impingement and how he's feeling right now.
はい、健康面はもうだいぶ良くて、不安もないですし、痛みもない中で投げれてて、あとは今技術的なところに、重点を置いてやってます。
Yeah, I feel no pain, just no doubt about it, so I feel pretty good. Right now just working on the mechanical part of the game. I think I just had a better understanding a second time through on where the pain came from and how to make sure that the pain doesn't come back. So I think it's hard to explain the exact mechanical thing that I felt, but I just had a better understanding going second time through when I started playing catch. Yeah, I think the focus was on the shoulder, just the way it was moving versus the way it was actually moving was different. So it was something that I had to really make sure that what was happening, how it was actually moving did match with how it is moving. So in that sense, it's not 100% right now in terms of the mechanics, but I think it's in the right direction.
So the most important thing is he's pain-free. There's nothing serious like surgery being discussed, and he did throw a bullpen session on Tuesday, and the next step for him is to make his first minor league rehab start. So he'll go on a rehab assignment. Right now, it's going to be scheduled for next week. So things could be happening pretty soon for him. And the expectation, the hope for him is that he's going to be back with the team in September. And then the next big question is about his role. What will his role be for this team? And here's what Roki said about the idea of accepting a bullpen role potentially in the postseason.
そうですね。まずはどの立場でもまず貢献できるようなパフォーマンスを出すことが大事だと思うので、立場に関わらずまずは自分のいいパフォーマンスを出してメジャーレベルでしっかり抑えれるようなパフォーマンスを出すことが先なのかなと。起用法は僕が決めれることじゃないので。
Regardless of my role, I'm just out there just making sure that I want to be able to compete and make sure I get major league hitters out. So it's really not up to me to determine what my role is. My job is to make sure I get big league hitters out.
And Dave did say yesterday, he told us about his role, that obviously he's a starter. We see him as that. You just don't know what's going to happen with starting pitching, but right now we see him as a starter. And Dave also mentioned that when it comes to putting out a postseason roster, you take the 13 best pitchers. So that leaves the door open for Roki to make this team in the postseason as a multi-inning, short burst type of pitcher that is just young and trying to contribute in any way, shape, or form. I think that this year was always kind of about just getting his feet wet, transitioning to Major League Baseball, learning to get out big league hitters. But if he comes back and he's lights out and he's dominant, I guarantee you they're going to take a long, hard look at him to see if he can come out of the pen. And that's a unfamiliar role for him. But if he's throwing 100 and that splitter, that fork ball is working, we'll see how the rotation's looking from a health standpoint. We got a long way to go, and a lot of guys that have dealt with injuries throughout their careers. Same thing applies for the bullpen. But really the number one thing we need to see from Roki Sasaki, if we're going to get the monster of the Reiwa era, right, the dominant number one prospect in the world, is where's that velocity? Because that was the number one thing that he was asking teams for when he gave teams a homework assignment when he was still being recruited and he hadn't signed with the team yet, was, hey, how are you going to get my velocity to where it was a couple years ago, where I was sitting at 98, because the velocity has been down, and we'll see if he can pick it back up. Here was his thoughts about where the velo is at right now, and if he feels more confident that he's going to be able to throw as hard as he has been in previous seasons.
そうですね。今もちろん体に不安ない中で、どれだけあとは自分が投げたいフォームで投げれるかと、その再現性と、今そういったところをこう試行錯誤している段階なので、もちろん、良くなるとは思いますし、あとはこれをしっかりものにできるかどうか、実戦が入ってきた中でそのいいフォームに投げれるかどうかでこうパフォーマンスが変わってくるんじゃないかなと思います。
I feel better about being able to throw harder, especially because I'm completely pain-free. With that being said, I do have to, just face live hitters and see how my mechanics, hold, and just being consistent, being able to do that consistently.
So there's Roki Sasaki. Clearly things have improved on his behalf. That definitely is important, because I'm thinking long-term for Roki. I think that's what it's about, for him to come back and just have a better finish to this season. Finish on a higher note, not where he made 8 starts and he's got 24 walks, 22 walks, 24 strikeouts, and just the ERA not where he wanted it to be. Remember, this is a guy that feels like he can be the best pitcher on the planet. So to have him do something positive for this team in any capacity, I think is going to be a plus. But if he can contribute and find a way to carve out a role where he's dominant against hitters in the postseason, hey, that'd be icing on the cake. He does sound like he seems like that found $20 bill under the couch cushion at this point. Anything you get from him is just an added bonus, and it's about a long-term play for a guy that, let me remind you, is still under team control for another 5 years after this. But all right, guys, let's take your comments. We're just minutes away from first pitch. Give me your home run predictions. I'm going to go Mookie Betts. Why not? Why not? Let's go. Mookie's going to start Mookieing again. Mookie living his best life. I'll go Shohei Ohtani hitting a bomb as well. But let me know down below, what is your called shot for this one? Go Shohei from Scant Hunt. We got D-Mac as the Torta King. What up, Ray? Let's go Dodgers. Let's go Dodgers. Dun, 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 dun. From Roy Estrada. Dustin May got 2 free rings for doing nothing. Wow. Burn. Let's go Dodgers. We got it's GOAT time. That's the comment of the show from Major Chip Hazard. 16. Took Yamamoto a year to get to top tier Cy Young level as a player. That's from Cantangerous 75. Absolutely. We've talked about that on this show. Just look at the last guy that kind of took a little bit of a time and also got injured during the season. We saw how last year finished for Yamamoto. he was definitely well ahead of where Roki was in his career as far as just kind of knowing who he is and being that kind of pitcher. He's just pitched more. He's mature, but the parallels are there. Shohei can't close. He would save. He would have to pinch hit for when he's replaced on the mound. Sammy Boy Smith, you're absolutely right. They have no desire to make him a closer, but in a special situation like we saw in the WBC where he struck out Mike Trout, who knows? Maybe that could happen. Roki with Kersh backing or vice versa. I like that. A little Kersh Roki piggyback. I like that. I like this. Ray Soto, Alex Call with the home run. He's had 3 home runs this season. Conforto grand slam. You guys are making some fire takes here. And by the way, if any of these hit, I'm going to clip this and put on Twitter. I'm going to put this on Instagram. I'm going to put this on YouTube. So if any of these hit, I will do that for you guys. So call your shots. Jim Broadwater says Pines with a big bomb today. We've got Freeland's first career bomb today from Vincent. Muncie again from Adrian. We got Mark. Alex Freeland goes yard. Young Y says my call is call. A lot of big guys saying Alex Freeland. We need Dustin May back. That's from Ricard Dog. No, we do not. No, they do not. They are going to be just fine without Dustin May. Teo Homer today from Carl. We got Alex Freeland hits his first MLB home run. Nando, LOL. Alex Call definitely ain't hitting home runs. I got to put it like that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Enjoy the game. Join us after the game for the post-game show where we break it all down. Shohei on the bump. I've got Shohei, 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, no runs. I'm calling it. See you guys after the game. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Do me a huge favor. Hit the like button on your way out. Drop some comments down below. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. It's showtime.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, ready to parade. We got it, parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue,